Hi. In 2019, I did training in Kinetic Shift. Now, we had the teachers come to Dubbo, but Kinetic Shift was originally designed and developed by a Pommy, by an Englishman named Karl Smith. And what happened was he used to be in the army and he'd been to several different wars and he had post-traumatic stress. And he said the way we dealt with our stress is we just went to the pub. And of course, when he left the army, he still had his post-traumatic stress, but he got a job working with the SAS 3 days later. So again, that continued on with a very stressful lifestyle because he was working counterterrorism. And he said one day he was in his lounge room or he was in his home and a drunk driver drove through their lounge room wall. He ran over and put his hand through the window and held onto the seat belt. And unfortunately, his hand got tangled. And so the drunk driver then reversed and dragged him about 80 meters and then ran over his legs and then reversed again. And he woke up in hospital, of course, in traction and in a lot of pain. And he said he was in hospital for months recovering from this accident. And when he got out, he became addicted to tramadol. And so he and his wife had this beautiful new leather lounge, and he knew he was addicted to tramadol because he dropped one of the tablets down the back and took a knife to the couch to get it out. So he then went on a journey to try to find a way to get off that addiction, but also to deal with the massive pain that he still had in his body. And he decided that, well, he found that hypnosis was the only thing that really worked for him. And then he came up with this wonderful technique. Now, I am a clinical and 5-path hypnotherapist, and I have been since 2005. I've been a Reiki master and teacher since 1999. And so I've worked with energy for a long time. I'm also a practitioner in Touch for Health kinesiology, theta healing, Yi Dao, Seishem, Egyptian healing system. So I've worked with energy for more than 20 years now. And when I did the training here in Dubbo, it was interesting because the technique was very similar to some of the stuff I've already done in Reiki. Now, we had the first day learning rapid hypnosis techniques, which I already knew. So I think I probably could have learned it all in a few minutes. But it was just really interesting to go through the workshop. And so on day 2, we learned about Kinetic Shift. And since then, I use it pretty much every day in my work here in my office in Dubbo. And the way that it was described to me is a little different to the way I really connect with this technique. I think of it as energy hypnosis. I don't really think of it as a hypnotic technique. I think of it more of as an energy medicine technique because, as I said, I've used this technique for many years, but all we do is we add the hypnosis component to it. So Kinetic Shift is a really interesting one. Now, knowing about Chinese medicine, because I also used to teach Tai Chi and yoga as well, but we know in Chinese medicine, there are 14 main meridians, and this is also in kinesiology. Now, with the 14 main meridians, it's really just one meridian, but it's broken up into 14 different sections according to the organs that those meridians flow through. And so what we know is when there's a block in the flow of that river of chi, it causes a dam on the other side of it. And pain is really, often caused by a buildup of energy. So it's just congested energy. So what I also know through the power of Reiki and working with energy for all these years is that our hands are like little magnets. So I could teach you to feel a ball of chi. I can do that now. I'm already feeling that. You can feel that energy in your hands even just by doing this. And we have little chakras in our hands as well as the 7 main ones in the body. And so we know that when we're working with energy, we can pass our hand over a part of the body. If we're working along that energy meridian, we can unblock those blockages. And so energetically, when we're doing Kinetic Shift, what we're really doing is we're clearing the blocked energy so the river starts to flow again. And when the river starts to flow again, everything comes back into balance, and it also means that the pain dissipates as a general rule. So kinetic shift is not just for physical pain, although that's the main thing I find I use it for, but it's also for emotional pain. So I want you to think of emotion means energy in motion. Now, when that energy gets stuck, we have emotional issues going on in our life. And everything is energy and information when we look at quantum physics. So it means that we can do some techniques and clear the blocked energy. And once everything starts to flow again, things come into harmony. And when we're doing Reiki, we think of it as another way. We think about emotions causing a block in our energy field, in our aura. And with Reiki, we're pumping energy back into that energy field, and it will clear the energetic block in the aura. Because if we don't deal with it, it moves through the layers of the aura to manifest as illness or injury on the body. So with kinetic shift, the first thing we do is we put our client into a light trance. Then we unblock that energy block, and we can use whatever techniques that we want to add to that. And that's really what we were encouraged to do when we did the training. They said, if you've got other techniques, feel free to add them. And so I have added some touch for health techniques. I've added some Reiki techniques. And what we find is that we can pull that blocked energy out. If we're doing counterclockwise circles over that part where there's pain, that will draw pain out as well, because again, it pulls blocked energy out. And at the end of the clearing, what we will then do is, well, we also are using visualization techniques, which is another hypnotic technique to reduce our perceptions of pain. And then we can lock it in by doing another modality, which then cuts the message from the pain to the brain. So I thought I would just explain that a little bit to you now. I know it seems like a really mystical, magical kind of thing when we hear about it, but the first person I worked with, my friend Jenny, came in. She said she had arthritis in her hand, her shoulder, and her neck. She said 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, and a 9 out of 10. 15 minutes later, she was laughing in the chair and saying, "You are crazy." And I said, "I know, but you can feel that, can't you?" And she said, "Yes, it's gone. It's just gone." The next lady, Michelle, came in, and she came in to quit smoking. And I said, "Why are you limping?" And she said, "Oh, I've got this really bad back. I've had a bad back for over 20 years, and it's gone into my hip and down into my knee." And I said, "Oh, I think we might see if we can just clear that before we get into the quit smoking." And that's exactly what we did. It took 20 minutes. At the end of the session, Michelle left my office and she called out, "Carol, come out here." And I ran out and I said, "What's the matter?" And she said, "Watch me walk down the stairs. I've got no pain." You know, months later, Michelle came back in for a visit and still no pain. And that does tend to be the amazing thing about kinetic shift. Now, again, we can use it really rapidly to clear congested energy. Generally, if we've got emotional issues like anxiety, that will be in the chest area, we'll feel it the most. And so, again, we can clear the physical sensation of it, which is then connected to the emotions and the energy. So we can clear those blocked emotions fairly quickly as well. So I hope that's described kinetic shift a little bit more to you. And it's just like magic. I've had my friend Catherine, who I think was she was either in Queensland or in Sydney at the time, but she tore a hamstring, and she's a triathlete. And I said to her, "Why don't we have a crack at some kinetic shift over the phone?" And so she used her phone. I used my computer, but she had her little phone there. And I'm just kind of going like this. Let me just pull that out. We pull it all the way down and out through your toes. And it was just bizarre because she said, this is crazy. I can feel that. I can feel it flowing down through my legs. And I've done that with lots of people. So I want you to open your mind, because you see, energy on a quantum physics level, there's no difference in time and space. If I'm reaching out to you on the internet, we are still connected. And what I find is, even when we're working with videos, I have people that I've sent videos to, and they've said, "Yeah, that's helped. That's really taken the pain away." So stay open to possibilities. Don't close your mind for something that could possibly change your life. So I'm Carol Macrae, and as I said, I'm a clinical and 5-path hypnotherapist, a Reiki master and teacher, a Seishen master and teacher. I've trained as a master in Komiya Reiki Do. I've done theta healing training. I've done lots of different energy medicine techniques. But what I know is the mind and body are intricately connected, and we can't change one without changing the other. So if we want to heal mentally or physically or emotionally or spiritually, We've got to combine all those things to really clear away blockages in our perceptions and our energy field and our mind. And when we do that, miracles happen. So I'm in downtown Dubbo. My business is Mind Body Magic. And feel free to pop any questions you may have down below if you want to learn a little bit more about Kinetic Shift. Otherwise, go to my website and have a little look around, because I work in the field of possibilities, not what's probable, but what is possible. So have a great day, everyone, and thank you for spending a few moments learning a little bit more about Kinetic Shift. Love and blessings to all.